Hey everybody, it's Julie here and I am here back again with another video. Thank you for clicking, thank you for sharing, thank you for standing for the truth, and we are just going to get straight into the video. Once again, as I said, my videos are to educate, is to bring awareness, to let you know what the LP is really about psychologically, in terms of like his personality disorder, to understand why would we have such a ruthless individual doing this in the kingdom of God. I think I will title today's video as Question Everything for Yourself. See, not only from the churches that are so-called prophetic, but also from churches. Whatever you are, question everything. Now, because somebody with a narcissistic personality disorder, they live on their own delusional world. They live on their own world where they just believe to be above everything and everyone, including the law. For me to give you an example of how the London Prophet has done this, or has demonstrated that trait where they feel that they're above the law. Remember, I think it's 3 instances where I have seen 3 instances. 2 of them were spoken as a testimony from somebody. The number one that we are all aware of is when a gentleman who was due to having like drug related charges and was due to appear in court, basically came to the London Prophet, and whatever happened, whatever was discussed, at the end of the day, the testimony just says that he basically got away. So it was a criminal. It was a criminal issue. It was a criminal matter that needed to be dealt in the courts of justice. But the testimony goes that this person got away, and everybody else who was involved in that basically got sent to jail or got sentenced or whatever. But if you remember, listen carefully to that testimony if you can get it somewhere. If you read in between the lines, the London Prophet is clearly telling people, is clearly saying that if you are a criminal but you come to him, you come to him, you will just get away with it. You will get away with it. That's implying that you're okay to do those things and then come to him. That's implying that there is no judgment of or consequences for the wrong things that you have done. In fact, he went on to say that whoever brings money that has been obtained through dirty works, criminal activities, don't worry, bring it. Bring the cash. It's God who sanctifies. It's God who cleans it. Money does not discriminate. That's his saying. So when you see this type of testimony, it tells you this person that does not believe that people have to go through consequences. Okay, I get it. Grace is there. But if you can support a man who has had drug-related criminal charges, then that person can also support a pedophile that has rape charges for raping minors. And another case was that I think it was a testimony from America. I remembered that testimony was of an individual, or a mother was praying, and I don't know, she brought whatever picture of her son or whatever the case was. I don't really remember the exact details. If you do remember, do comment below and let us know what exactly was, in case that I'm saying something wrong. But from what I understood, the testimony was that the person who was in jail or was to be judged or was to be sentenced or whatever to decades or whatever of years basically, and there was clear evidence in the CCTV that this person actually killed someone. But because they came to the London Prophet, that person got away for free, was delivered from the sentence of spending their life in there. Once again, if you I know many of you will be like, but that's grace. That's a miracle. This wouldn't happen if it wasn't because of this prophet, the pioneer. It's not. It's not right to stand for such testimonies. You have to question yourselves. Question yourself if this person can pray or make someone go free that did something that was criminal. What about if this is a person who goes around on a rampage killing 500 people? If they can stand for one criminal, they can stand for another criminal that can kill, that can rape, that can traffic women, that can traffic children, and they will pray for that person, you know? Pray for that person and that person can go free. Guys, use your brain. Question for real. Every single thing that you hear from him, you need to read in between the lines. If you don't question things, other people are going to put their beliefs in you. They're going to put their psychology in you. They're going to install everything that they are about themselves, while you yourself, you are suppressing, repressing that thing that makes you individual. This is what happens. You can't question things in churches like this. It's seen as doubting. It's seen as not having enough faith. It's seen as unbelief, but it is not. It is you using the brain that God gave you. Churches, stop forcing your members to not question whatever they want to question. Stop forcing your members your mentality on them. They have to think of their own. Let's say one thing. If you have a 17-year-old, 16-year-old telling mature members not to question, not to give ears to what is happening in the world or what is being said, that's dangerous. Something that I noticed from the London Prophet and what he tries to develop, the community that he has developed, is that you're not supposed to question things. Even himself, he would say, I don't listen to other people. I only buy the books from my spiritual father. I only listen to the messages from my spiritual father. The same way you guys, he even said one day that, oh, you shouldn't be going to listen to his spiritual father because he is the one who listens from his spiritual father. So in terms of like that, you should listen to him because he is your spiritual father, but not to his own spiritual father. And he would say things like that just to make you think that you're not supposed to be listening to anybody else. But if you question it, why shouldn't I listen to somebody else? This person thinks that all your answers as an individual, as a person who God created yourself, are going to be found in him. That's impossible. It's impossible. You don't go to McDonald's to get a car. You don't go to IKEA to purchase clothing. You don't go to Primark to purchase a car. And you as a person who is spiritually yourself, that you are created by God, you can't say that you're going to find all the answers and all the spiritual guidance from only one person. What would be the point of God having the fivefold ministry? Why would God create different gifts if one person has every single of them? What would even be the point of Jesus coming if one person has everything? In fact, the London Prophet doesn't want you to think by yourself. He does not. He just wants to spoon feed you everything that he wants to, his own philosophy, so that you can just support him. And some of you individuals are supporting these kind of things, not knowing the extent. Honestly, really think very well. Do the investigation, do the research. Don't just fall for anything that you are given to. Don't just fall for anything that you are told, because it will rob you of your right to be yourself. It will rob you of being in the right place. It will rob you of being in among the right environment. Churches, stop making people feel that questioning is evil, that is wicked, that is not living by faith. Faith is not blind. Faith is not being in denial. When you hear something, go and do your research. I myself, if I am to be honest, I didn't do research because of things that he used to say, things that used to put fear in me. And I was like, no, I don't want to be that kind of person. This whole thing of gossip being whatever, the worse sin than other things, or the thing about that if you talk bad about a man of God, then your own personal angel that God gave you is gonna go and be transferred to that person that you're talking bad about. Those kind of things put me away, like, I don't want to be on that. And that's basically how I spend years. I spent years in a place where I didn't know. Honestly, guys, I had no idea that this was going on till this summer. Till last summer 2020. That's 5 years, 5 full years of being a dummy head, not knowing what was going on. One thing that I never did, I never stopped listening to other preachers. Especially there's a preacher that I know myself being stubborn, the way that I'm very stubborn. There's a particular preacher that I go to. And the moment that I go to that preacher just with their own life experience, with what they have lived, I'm able to sort of like calm down and understand better, because they have that ability to advise, ability to speak in that situation. So you as an individual, you can't just listen to one single human being. No matter if they're your spiritual father, if they're your mentor or anything like that, it's impossible. You can't allow a 17-year-old, 16-year-old, whatever his age is, a dummy, to tell you, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, don't listen to other people. Don't be giving your ears to hearsay. Don't be giving your ears to that. Question everything. Even when I'm telling you, you need to question. Because you don't know my intentions. You have no idea what intentions are behind. Even though I will say like it's awareness or whatever. But deep inside, do you know me? When you are just listening to somebody else and you are not taking the time to listen, to make your own research, to find out exactly very well into the matter of the circumstance where you need to make a decision, you are just allowing somebody else to lead you. Basically, you're just giving the reins to that person to lead you, to drive you whatever you want, whatever they want to drive you. And at the end of the day, you don't even know where you're going to end. Let me tell you one thing. When people are honest, when God is really involved in something, God will give you the ability to make the decision for yourself. Even in the Garden of Eden, remember what happened? God was not there saying like, oh, don't go and listen to anyone. No. God gave them a commandment and he just left it. Of course, that brought the fall of man after the choice that they made, but God gave them the choice. When somebody's telling you, don't listen to this, don't listen to that, they are removing your choice. You as an individual, you have the choice to listen to whatever you want to listen and then make a decision by yourself. A decision by yourself so that afterwards it's like getting the information and then you are told choose. But you can't choose when you don't know the extent of what happens in this side and what happens in this side. So you as an individual, you have to take that initiative. Be proactive about seeking the truth. Be proactive about being well aware from both sides. Then you can make a decision yourself so that you no longer fall into the trap of like, I got scammed, I got robbed, I got influenced, I got manipulated. It's a characteristic of a cult to tell people what to do and to isolate them from other people, from other influences, from other information sources. It's a very cult-like characteristic to make people not to question things. So don't give in to the ears when they tell you, oh, don't listen to this person, don't talk to that person, whatever. Don't question anything. Don't give yourself into hearsay. Just focus. No, get the information first, and then you can focus. So guys, this is what I wanted to speak to you guys. This is the video of today. Question everything. Don't go one more day not questioning what is going on in front of you, in your work area, in your life, in your personal life, your kids' life, everything. Question everything. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video.